You said in your Detroit speech that you want to renegotiate your USMCA deal with Canada and Mexico. Yeah. But doesn't that undermine the deal that you put together?
No, because I put together a deal that gives me the right to renegotiate, because these are very smart people.
Why do you want to renegotiate it?
Because I want to make it a much better deal. I want to take advantage now of the car industry. Which lets me do that. So I put a clause in. The hardest clause I had with them was, I want to be able to see how it's working, and I want to renegotiate. No way, we want it, I said, that's the way it is. Either you do that, or I'm not going to make a deal, and I don't mind. I didn't mind not making a deal, by the way. The problem we had is NAFTA. We had to get rid of it. It had to get out. It was the worst deal. Do you know when they signed NAFTA many years ago, they made typos and they made mistakes in the agreement that normally you would just sit back and change the following day? Nobody went back to change it. And it was things like numbers, they put wrong numbers in. They didn't really put wrong. The other people made them put wrong numbers. They put wrong numbers in. And nobody changed it for 30 years.
So what about USMCA? What do you want to renegotiate?
There are always things that you can do better. I got a clause that gives me the right to renegotiate it. Who else would think of that except a business person, a good one? I'm a really good business person, I will tell you. So that's the story. I'm able to renegotiate it. And I will renegotiate to the benefit of our country. We've been screwed by Mexico and by China and by Canada and by the European Union. Oh, European Union. It sounds so nice. The villages of the European Union, right? They are brutal. When you add up all of those countries, they're about the same size as us. They're a little bit smaller. And the European Union takes advantage of us unbelievably. But I made a great deal with Japan. I made a great deal with South Korea. I said to them, we've got 40,000 soldiers over there. They're in harm's way. Now, I happen to get along with Kim Jong-un very well. If I didn't, and it started off nasty, remember? Little Rocket Man? I called him Little Rocket Man. He called me things. And then he said, I have a red button on my desk. And I said, I have a red button also, but it's bigger and my red button works. And it was really nasty, and a lot of people were worried, actually. And then he called me, and he said, I'd like to get together. I asked President Obama. He said the single biggest problem we had was North Korea. They have great nuclear force. And he said he thinks that's the biggest problem. I asked him, I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. At our little meeting before, it's a ritual. You meet with the president, the new president coming in. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. He said they were close to going to war, I think. Well, and we would have had a nuclear war with millions of people killed. And when I was in there, I got along great with Kim Jong-un. I got along great with Putin, despite the fake Russia hoax.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about nuclear facilities now with regard to Israel. And, you said that you think that Israel should, in fact, hit Iran's nuclear facilities. Isn't this dangerous to be talking about impacting
you don't want
nuclear facilities?
You can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Here's the story. When I left, Iran was broke. I said to China, you can't buy oil, and if you buy 1 barrel of oil, I'm not doing any business with you in the U.S. You're shut out. We're going to go cold turkey, which a lot of people say, let's do that anyway. And I said, in addition to that, anything that gets through is going to have 100% tariff. And Japan and others and China said, we'll pass. And Iran was doing almost zero business. And they were broke and ready to make a deal. Now they have $300 billion. He took all the sanctions off, and they're the ones that are sponsoring all the terror. He took all the sanctions off, took everything off. And it's too bad. I want him to be.
Well, if you get back in, are you going to go back to maximum pressure on Iran?
I can't tell you that, and I'll tell you why. I think it's so bad to tell a broadcaster, and you're a good one, a journalist. I don't want to say what I'm going to do in a negotiation, because you can't negotiate that way.
I thought it was odd that today President Biden said that he spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the first time in 7 weeks or something.
Pathetic.
They've been at war for over a year. And he hasn't spoken with him in 7 weeks. When was the last time you've spoken with Netanyahu?
Like 2 days ago. And he came to my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, with his wife, who was lovely. But he came to Mar-a-Lago. He came to, I guess he was
I saw the visit.
At the White House, maybe the UN.
Is there anything you could share with us in terms of that, the Israel-Iran conflict? What would you do to end the war on Israel?
I could tell you that Bibi has been very strong. He is not listening to Biden.
It sounds like he stopped sharing information with the U.S.
Look, Biden is the one that came up with the Afghanistan plan. Take the soldiers out first and leave all that weakness. Leave Bagram behind. Bagram's one of the biggest air bases in the world. We built it for billions and billions of dollars many years ago. It's 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons, and he gave it up. He's a fool. And we can't have another fool as a president. We can't have this for another 4 years. We're not going to have a country left.
Do you have a message for the people who are trying to come to America legally and they're still waiting?
It's so sad. It's so sad. You have people that have been waiting for 11 and 12 years, and then you have other people that just walk through and everybody wants to give them amnesty. But the bigger problem is this: so many of those people are criminals. We're a laughingstock all over the world. They are opening up their jails, and they're opening up they're taking MS-13s off the street. I took them out by the thousands. ICE. We love ICE. I love ICE. They fight. They know how to fight. They like to fight. But they love our country. And you put them into what they call a rat pack of MS-13, probably the worst gangs in the world. They use knives because it hurts people more. You put them into that, and it's a rough deal.
But there are people who are coming here legally, and they're waiting for years to get their citizenship. So do you have a message for those people?
Yeah, stay there, because we want people to come in. Just so you understand, I want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. That's going to be stepped up. You know, we need more people, especially when these companies are coming in. We're going to have companies, but they have to come in with love for the country, and they have to come in with some competence.